Spin it. There you go. Hey, yo, what's up? It's your boy, sir, the right hand man of the Blurred Syndicate, and I'm joined by two of the best people to ever do it. I'm gonna let the founder of the Blurred Syndicate go ahead and do his piece first. What's good, bro?
What's going on, blurds, nerds, and everybody in between? It's your boy Wyatt, the sensei of the syndicate, the Duke of Drink, the Paladin of Pour, the salt. What did I say yesterday? The
I was drinking, so you
okay,
want to
don't
bear
worry.
with me.
The Wizard of Wrestling.
Mm,
That's a new one. So yeah, what's up, man? Excited here to talk about Extreme Rules.
let's get it. Let's get it. And of course, my other brother from another mother. You go ahead and do your intro, bro. You know what I like to hear. You know what
I
I like
love
to
it
hear.
too.
Since I, the heavily orchestrated, never duplicated lyrical symphony known as the Eternal One Eternity, aka Mr. Everlasting, the lyrical assassin. We are holding it down for Mobtown, ALABAMA, all day, every day. Let's play. Let's go.
I love it. I fucking love it, bro.
It's awesome.
Bro, I never get tired of that shit ever, ever. It's like when you're watching a Marvel movie and the Marvel scene cuts in at
Mhm.
first. Every
Right.
fucking time, bro. Every fucking time. But here today, I've gathered these fine young gentlemen so we can discuss Extreme Rules. I know typically people like to do it after the pay per view. Well, damn it, we grown and we be having to go to bed and shit. So we decided to do it today before Raw. That way, you can go into Raw with our opinions on your brain. So let's get it cracking. So it was a stat card, you know what I'm saying, for a pay per view that we don't typically celebrate that often. What up, Tots? I see you there, boy. Ariel was happening. So I figure we get started with the very first match. And I will admit, I did not get to see this match because I was going to go get pizza. But we had the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium. Excuse me. So I just wanted to let you guys have it first, since I don't think it'd be fair for me to grade this one since I didn't see it. But what were you guys' thoughts on this particular match? And I'll tell you what, Eternity, you go first, bro.
All right. This match right here stole the show.
Mm.
I knew it was gonna steal the show. Um, you know what type of war Gunther Walter to me, but you know what kind of for the viewers, you know what kind of war Gunther and Sheamus are gonna put on. Sheamus has this thing where he just continues to say he makes banger after banger after banger, and man, those two dudes, along with uh, Pete Dunne, Butch,
Mm.
and what's the other guy's name? Well, the Bruce. Period, man. I
Yeah,
mean, them and
yeah.
Imperium, like when I say man, they went to war. They went to war. That's the type of fights that you used to see in like that old school Attitude Era WWE.
Wow.
And to me, man, it was that like it set the tone for Extreme Rules, and they made it extremely hard for anybody to be able to follow them. So that's my take, man. I give it an A all day.
Damn. All right. All right. Mr. Stokes, what you got?
I gave it a B plus. Like I thought it was, like you said, it was hard hitting. They were not playing with each other. You know how we talked about yesterday how how you can be comfortable with somebody, so therefore you can take a little bit more like leeway.
Mm-hmm.
Like they all kind of had that feeling of like, oh, we here and we're gonna do what we're gonna do. Like they walked up, they hitting each other with stuff. Like yeah, like you got to be comfortable with each other. You got to be, cool with one another for it to have that stuff going on. And so they definitely did it. I I'm gonna disagree that it definitely did make the show. Like it was like that one and another match, and I'll talk about that one later on. Those were my two favorites by far. Eternity had it right, so it was really really good. So B plus for me.
All right, B plus and an A. Seem like we're in accordance with one another. Let's keep the ball rolling. Let's go ahead and get to match number 2, the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey. Now, this was the match I did walk in on like right as it was starting, and I'm gonna be frank with you guys. This was the weakest match of the night for me. It wasn't that I didn't feel like the storyline built up to an interesting match. it just felt like the entire night there was a miscommunication in the actual match. There was an actual spot that went missed involving a chair, but one party decided to go through with it anyway, and the other one seemed to be against it, but went ahead with it on the second try. And you could tell it was like just disjointed. It took me out. It was some other spots that didn't feel comfortable. The bat hits, the chair shots, they felt like
those older chair shots, not the older chair shots, like the newer chair shots, like they're not supposed to really hit you, but they hit you a little bit. Like it wasn't like a full swing. You know what I mean? They didn't commit to it.
yeah. It felt like, the wiffle bats. That's what it felt like. They were like swinging and not really. Now I will admit there was one clean shot that did happen when Liv jumped on the steps and Ronda caught her. I didn't think it connected, but they showed a clip of her side and she had a bruise, so she did get hit. So I was like, oh, okay, well, damn, that was unfortunate that the camera cut was so quick that I missed it. But overall, I didn't want to be too harsh on this match, so I gave it a C minus. What about y'all?
Right, you can go.
I gave it a C minus too. Like I felt like in this day and age, when you have matches like where like Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair or who else, whoever gets whipped with that goddamn hair, like if you can get whipped, like for those things, Becky Lynch, you know what I mean, where they got scars and stuff from hair, you know what I mean, let alone chair shots. I thought it was kind of like they laid it up. They didn't go for like, a good shot. So and just like how we talked about how the gentlemen in the previous match trusted each other, you could tell that they didn't trust one another in that match. And so therefore there was like hesitancy when it came to a lot of that stuff. So that was unfortunate. And it had the elements to make for a good match, but it just didn't follow through like I thought it would.
Both of you said two things that I kind of want to expound on. Jeremy, you said that they were disjointed, which is a very good term to use for the construction of that match. And then Wyatt, you talked about like the lack of trust, and I think that had a lot to do with it as well. I think they tried to go with the extreme rules because it felt like they would cover up some of those kind of, the things that they lacked essentially, between the two of them. Because let's be honest, Ronda Rousey is still learning the ropes, and she is still kind of got that over the top. Like I hate when Ronda Rousey like does that jumping, slapping my thigh thing, whatever that is. Like she looks like one of those characters on like a video game, like a Street Fighter on the select screen. It just it just, I don't know, man. It reeks of gimmick to me. And I mean, on a pay-per-view full of gimmicks, this was the one that had the potential to be something. But I mean, Liv Morgan is all of probably 98 pounds soaking wet, trying to swing a 10-pound chair. It looked weak. You know what I mean? Like she should have stuck to the bats, the kendo sticks. I wouldn't even say a 2x4 because the wood's too heavy. You know what I mean? Like choose things that are realistic. Like her diving through the tables, that worked. But then there were also moments in those table spots where they were like counting pins, and Ronda's shoulders weren't even on the damn mat. Her shoulders were resting on the table, and I was ashamed of the referee for still counting Ronda's shoulders because I'm like, fool, they're up. The camera angle shows they're up. We can see they're up. It was bad. I gave it a C minus too. So.
Right. It ended with an awkward technical KO submission, where that whole transition sequence was awkward and too long to look at.
Yep.
And it was just like, okay, it's finally over. Thank God. And I hate feeling that way, you know. But kudos to them. They got through it. We got a new women's champion, Ronda Rousey. And I don't mean to sound
Can I say one bad thing that I didn't like either? Where they tried to do like the backstabber with the chair, but then they weren't on the same page at the same time.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
after that, Ronda sold it too much where she was damn near outside the ring. So then poor Liv had to try to drag her back inside the ring to be able like they didn't have enough, connection. They weren't on the same page. And I think a part of that is because like I think Ronda, since she's like part-time, you know what I mean? She's not getting those reps that she needs to be able to really sell that. And I think the last time that she had some kind of like hardcore match, I think it was like with Alexa Bliss, but Alexa Bliss could carry her because of the fact that she was the underdog in the first place.
Facts. Overall, it kind of sucked that they had to follow such a match that you guys described for the first match.
Absolutely.
It's like now the next match has to like hype everybody back up. And that match turned out to be Drew McIntyre versus Carrion Cross. Now, Carrion Cross recently returning to the WWE after being released earlier this year or last year. I think it was last year.
Last year, I think.
Yeah. So, he got released last year. He came back this year.
Awesome. And overall, I'm gonna reserve my thoughts for a second because I want to hear what you guys think. Eternity, you made some really good points. What were your thoughts about this match following Liv Morgan's match?
I gotta be honest, man. I was kind of disappointed. I like Carrion Cross. I liked him in NXT. Even with the hair, I can deal with the Carrion Cross with the hair. Whatever, dude. Like, do your thing. I hate to sound like I'm not a dirt sheet writer, but this is how dirt sheet writers sound. And they talk about the casual fans all the time. And the one thing that stuck out to me before the match even began was Danae asked me, what is his gimmick supposed to be? And I went, damn. Like, because if you think about it, Drew McIntyre really doesn't have a gimmick either, but he's the Scottish warrior. So we understand that he's foreign, he wears a kilt, he carries a big-ass sword, and he's tall, and he kicks people in the face. We get that. We still don't know enough about Carrion Cross to really care about Carrion Cross on the main roster. Because unless you follow him in NXT and know that he's supposed to be like Doomsday and XYZ, you know what I'm saying? Like Armageddon's assassin, if you will, then you don't really get him. And they just, I don't know. Some need to be better with his presentation. Even though they gave him his original presentation back, they just need to be able to get it across on screen more. Now, anyway, getting into the match itself, parts of it felt clunky. Carrion's wife looked amazing. Scarlett looked fantastic. Thank God she is back, because she adds so much more depth to his character. But that's because women make everything better anyway. Yes, but dude, I just I don't know, man. Like I didn't like the way that it started per se. I felt like them trying to do the whole mess with Drew McIntyre type thing. Now I wanted to put the cuff on. It reminded me of like if you playing WWE 2K22 and you can like do the run in on the entrance. That's what it felt like. And it was like just posturing. Then, they have that camera cut in the video game, and then they come back, and then the match actually starts. Well, they decided to do that in person.
Right. And it took forever to do it, too.
And that was my issue. It feels like they took forever to do it, and then once they finally got it started, it was like, I really need y'all to bring it to make me care more about this match. And they did an okay job, but it was just slow. It was much slower than I thought it would be, based off of how they have been basically stalking each other and kicking each other's asses for the last 4 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just expected more out of it. Overall, I give it like a B- though.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm right at there. Like I gave it like a C. Like it was something where I was just like, okay, it's cool. Like they didn't do anything to really catch my attention. You know what I mean? They didn't have
Right.
something that was like a oh, like we can talk about this one. This was just like, hey, and like even if it was just going to be a beat 'em up one, like, you know, short of Carrion just beating the shit out of him with the strap outside for a little bit, like, which is expected. Like there was nothing innovative. There was nothing that made you be like, hey, they did something new here. You know what I mean? And like, if that was the case, man, just put him in a cage. You know what I'm saying? Do something like that. Like if you was gonna have just a match where you were trying to make sure that no one could escape, that would be better for me. But like the strap match was just meh. And so and then I do get, you know, Miss Cross coming in. I forget her name. And
Scarlet.
yeah, Scarlet. So I get her, you know, doing all that. But you know what I mean? Like I would want, it didn't do anything for either one of them, for real. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like you, if you'd want him to have something with the pay-per-view, you'd want him to be able to either like show something different, show something unique about him. Or if you were gonna have Drew go over, then have Drew do something that was really, you know, him overcoming like a multitude of odds. You know what I'm saying? So it just felt like a placeholder match. Like they didn't have anything really good.
All right. I'm gonna say I was a little let down with this one too. Seeing Karrion Kross have a brief stint with John Moxley. That was my introduction to Karrion Kross, by the way. So my standards were hella high. Which isn't his fault because that's not the same type of Karrion Kross. It's a little watered down, I'll be honest with you. In this version. I was let down by the finish. I also felt like majority of the match was pretty uneventful. Besides like a couple of standard moves, it just felt like too much was focused on using the actual strap, which I get. You know what I'm saying? It was just I expected something way more creative. Like I expected like an Irish whip reversal with the strap into a Claymore. Like, how in the hell did I not get that in this entire match? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can I come up with that? And I'm not even a wrestler. But but they were tied up together and didn't do that. Also, I wanted to bring up a point Eternity said, and you guys mentioned that it felt like the match dragged on. What if I told y'all this was the shortest match on the card? This match was 10 minutes and 20 seconds.
It felt like 20.
I was just about to say it, and that's horrible that it felt that long.
That's crazy.
Oh, that's bad.
That's real bad. That means your match was hella boring. And what's crazy is, but to your point, when Danae asked what is his gimmick, my girl and I was also watching a match, and her response to seeing Karrion Kross was like, so he's the big white guy who screams? And bro, when you don't have a point to counteract that, you just gonna have to say, yeah, you're not wrong. You know, it just I wish there was a little bit more depth with his character. If he's the Doomsday, like for instance, just hear me out for this one, and then we'll get to the next match. How I would book him if he was the Doomsday, you know, wrestler taking out everybody. Doomsday people had kind of like what's the thing called a manifesto. Mm-hmm. They had plans on how the Doomsday would come about. What if he had a select number of targets to get him to the title that he felt he had to take out in order to achieve the new era of the apocalypse?
Mm-hmm.
But he never told us who those targets were. It's just after he conquer one feud, he'd move on to the next, and it would be a surprise, you know. And lo and behold, by the time he was at the end, somehow he'd be in the title picture. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I like that.
you know what I'm saying? Like something like that, I felt would have been dope. It would keep you anxious to see him in these situations. But overall, with this match, it dragged on, even though it was short. So I'm gonna give it, and especially with the finish, I had it at a B solid. I'm gonna give it a C plus, B minus, somewhere in there, because the intensity of both of those guys is there. It just, the match didn't deliver what I thought it would. All right, so we're gonna go to our next match. I believe this was the next match. I think it was, but Finn Balor and Edge had an I Quit match. Was that next? I think that was the next one.
I think so.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure before I click the picture. All right. So this was an I Quit match, and I'm just gonna sum this up real quick. I gave this match a B. I just felt like it was like 5 or 6 minutes too long, y'all. God damn, this felt like a long match to me, y'all. I just like shit, bro. Oh my God. Don't get me wrong. And I love Edge and I love Finn Balor, and I love the thought of those going against each other. But holy fuck, it was just like, y'all are still going. So what were y'all thoughts, man?
See, I've had this one. Well, and so full disclosure, I watched it while I was at work. So that may have made it go by faster, or I may have missed some of those parts. So like I thought this one, especially towards the end, had like match of the night kind of feel to it. Just because like all the stuff that he was going through and having to, having everybody come out like they did. And then Beth Phoenix came out. And Rey Mysterio came out. Rey Mysterio is useless. I just want to say, as a parent, I would have been busted in his face. Cause ain't no way. Oh God, I felt triggered. I felt triggered and attacked when he was beating up on his dad, knowing damn well his dad too small to be taking that ass whooping that he was getting. So that, I don't know where they're gonna go with that one. Like at some point, like it would have made more sense if Rey Mysterio and Dominic had a strap match. You know what I mean? That means that they're held together by a belt, and that's where Dominic's getting his ass whooped. But that would have made more sense than the match that they had. But anyways, like I liked it. You know what I mean? I liked the end, and it felt like the energy from the crowd got really into it at the end too. So that one was like a B plus for me.
Oh, you're cracking up, Buck. Your connection breaking up. But while he's working on that, man, just to expound on the time factor. Just to give you a heads up, why I do believe that you having something to do while watching this match contributed to like your constant paying attention of it. I'm just gonna ask you why. Just both of you. How long do y'all think this match was?
I think this was probably like a 30-minute match.
That's a damn good guess, man. It was 29 minutes and 55 seconds.
Yeah, I think like it was definitely a long match, but I think with those I Quit matches, you got to do it that way. You know what I mean? Because it's like one of those things where it's up there with like an Iron Man match because you got to be able, because if not, then after that you look like your constitution is weak. And you know what I mean? Because then after that, if you just willing to quit no matter what, then you a bitch in the first place, and then neither one of y'all look strong. And you know what I mean? You beating up a bitch and the bitch is tapping out. So I mean, you got to have some constitution with that. but I think it was funny that, you know what I mean. Like they set up a whole lot of stuff from there, but man, the way Beth Phoenix got done in again and again,
bro.
uh, like it was just funny. It was funny that, you know what I mean. And then Edge got his little revenge by kicking Dominic in the nuts.
He did.
Congratulations. He gave out a lot of spears at that one point in time. So,
And I'm glad the match wasn't filled with them. It was used sparingly until the end, which I was kind of glad to see because
you can't spear everybody all the time, because then after that then it doesn't make any sense. So
facts.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, I might just have to go without no video. Where we at? Edge and Finn Balor. So first of all, let me just say that Finn Balor's headpiece was badass. I thought that was different.
That was.
So I really, really liked and respected that he did that. I like Edge the Halloween colors. That was cool. Did I hear you say this match was almost 30 minutes long?
29.
Yeah, it was about 5 minutes. What would you say? 5 to 6 minutes too long for you?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, it's about 5 to 6 minutes too long for me. I expected more from. I don't know. After I saw the Judgment Day come out, I just expected more people to show up. Besides Rey Mysterio being useless, like Wyatt said, and getting his ass whooped by his son. That is horrible. Because I found it so funny. Because I said the same thing. I was like, ain't no way, boy. Ain't no way. There's no way that Rey and Dominic could have been black. Because when I tell you Dominic ass would have been put in his place 6 weeks ago. You hear me?
He would have got his ass put in place when he went to the locker room and had an attitude. He'd have been like, hey, you need to straighten this shit up.
You know,
like,
I will send your ass home. Damn NXT. I'm going to send you back to OVW. You know what I'm saying? Like, bruh, I don't know, man. I felt like it had the potential to do a lot more than it did. But overall, it was a decent match. I like Beth's involvement. I feel like it might set something up down the line for her and Rhea if they want to do a one-off. Without trying to be spoilers, you know what we talked about a little bit earlier with the potential return?
Yeah.
I think that's what we headed for Survivor Series. I think we get the Judgment Day. And I'm trying to think maybe one other person with them. And then maybe we get those three, and then we get Rey Mysterio. If they're going to do a 4-on-4. And I mean, and honestly, that's a match. Oh, well, and if you want to do a 5-on-5, you could do those three. You could do those three, Rey and Edge. And then put, if you want to put the three of them, and then they can pick, two other people or however they want to do it. You can put them in War Games. Oh, yeah. If they're going to do 4-on-4, because War Games is going to be at Survivor Series. And I think you could put the Bloodline against somebody, but I want to see the Bloodline against the Wyatt Six if that comes. I don't want to jump ahead, y'all.
Oh, my God. All right. Oh, what was your grade for that match, Buck?
My rating for that match would probably be about a B-.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy about the end.
All right, and we got joining us my boy Shamad of Shamad TV, man. Welcome to the syndicate, good sir. But we a little bit ahead. We're discussing, as you probably already could tell, the Finn Balor Edge match. Just what are your thoughts on it? What spots you enjoyed, what you didn't like, and what would be your grade overall for that match?
Like I said, I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed it. I wish Dominic could have got beat up more. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the low blow was cool. But I wish
I can barely hear you, Shamad. Can you hear me?
Huh?
There you go. I don't know if you could. It
you.
Might have been your hand over the speaker, but could barely hear you a little bit.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I really did. Like I said, I wish Dominic got beat up. But
we losing you again, bro. It's like your volume dropped again.
I'm just wondering. The outcome
Oh, you might be driving through a bad area.
really did.
Uh-oh. Oh.
Well, in the meantime, we'll circle back to that match. We'll circle back to the match. You might be driving through a bad patch in the area. These goddamn towers are trash down here, bro. But speaking of coverage, one thing you can do is make sure you go to the blurredsyndicate.com. Make sure you get something to cover your body. You know what I'm saying? Go over there, go cop a shirt. You know what I'm saying? Cop some mouse pads, aprons. We was talking about aprons all day yesterday. You can get your goddamn whatever you want. We got nerd stuff, blurred stuff. We got Golden Girl shit. We got Ninja Turtles. We got goddamn just about anything you could think of up in the shop. So make sure you come support the shop. And if you just so happen, because I'm selfish, I want you to use my promo code. If you just so happen to use the promo code LLC20, you can get 20% off your order. All you got to do is just enter it. Just LLC20. Just type it in there, hit enter. 20% gone. A whole fifth of it just out. Just pew. Just pew. I don't know about y'all, but I can save some money on shipping.
Yeah.
So do yourself a favor. Go to the blurredsyndicate.com and cop something. Or you're ugly. That's just it. Point blank period.
We definitely have Blurred Club shirts too.
Oh, like yeah. I should have put on mine.
Yeah. I got on my Straight Out of Hogwarts shirt.
Gang.
Yo, side note, that shirt came in handy.
Yeah. See?
Hey.
That shirt came in handy.
See? Barely almost on these hoes, bro. All right. Shamar, can you hear me? Uh-oh. Damn towers, bro. I'm trying to tell you. They be messing us up. But in the meantime, we're gonna move on with the next match.
Hold on, sir. You didn't give your two cents. You did not.
My bad. So okay, this match, like I said, it was a good match, man. I'm not gonna say I wasn't entertained, but if they could have shaved off a solid 5 minutes, I wouldn't have been upset. And I think if they could have shaved off 5 minutes off the beginning, you know what I'm saying, that might have helped, because the end was fire. The end with the multiple finishers, the multiple intrusions, the stepping in of Beth Phoenix was dope. You know, I think the Glamazon is one of my favorite women's wrestlers because she'll bust your ass. Let's just be real. She's strong as fuck. So I love to see her in action, and I agree. I do hope to see her and Rhea Ripley get that, you know, that one-on-one, but I don't want it to be a gimmick match. I want it to be a technical prowess match, because I love to see power versus power, and I think that'll be an interesting setup to see. But
can you imagine how Edge and Beth Phoenix got together, and Beth was like, "You gonna take this number?" You know, I'm really feeling leader right now. No. You go with me now.
Right. I heard them Canadian boys like to fight.
We're gonna live in North Carolina, and I'm gonna put syrup all over you.
Oh my god, I'm not. I don't want that visual of Edge and syrup. That ain't it. But I wouldn't. I can't stand these things. Oh boy. But overall, I gave it a B. I wasn't disappointed. It was just, I was just like looking at my watch and reviewing what the match card was. The instant I grabbed my phone and I'm looking at what the next match is, I'm ready for the next match. So yeah, if they would have shaved about 5 minutes, I would have been good. I would have been straight. All right. So the next match, the Raw Women's title match. We had our girl Bianca Bella versus Baby Cakes Bailey. And if you know, you know. That's all I'm gonna say. Uh, they had a ladder match, and
If you know,
I'm gonna be real, bro. Like Bailey has been shown to be one of the most versatile wrestlers of this NXT era, if you know what I mean, of like Triple H and Dusty's kids.
Yep.
Bailey has shown herself capable in any type of circumstance, and that's heel and face. The match was great. Sure, there are a few spots that I saw coming, here and there, but overall, I'm not even gonna front, y'all. I was entertained the entire time, especially the spot with where Bailey did the elbow drop on the ladder.
Ooh, yes.
Man. And then did you guys peep Bianca's back after that?
Yep.
Bruh, like we was like, oh no, they getting it in. And this goes to our point that we made a point yesterday, Eternity, where we were saying where you can tell when people communicate and they're tight and they got some kind of friendship because they're able to take things to another level because you trust that person. You know what I'm saying? And it paid off in that match. The finishing spot involving that ladder was crazy. Shout out to Bailey, man. Don't get me wrong, Bianca did her thing, but Bailey is a ring general. Do you hear me? And yeah, I enjoyed this match. I didn't think that Bianca was gonna pull it off, but she's still our women's champion. And I gave this match a B+. The only reason I didn't give it an A was because the certain spots I could see coming a mile away, and that's not to their detriment. It was just I was like, oh, they finna do this, but I still enjoyed this that I knew was coming, if that makes sense. So, what about y'all?
So I'm gonna kind of listen on this one because I had a really important phone call and I was in that one. I saw some of it. They definitely didn't give a fuck about their bodies. So
Right.
so and that's why, like, I think it was tough to be with Liv versus Ronda in that situation, because then after that you see that. And honestly, I'm gonna say this, and it may be a hot take. I don't miss Charlotte. Like, Charlotte can stay where she at. Like, Charlotte had
What you say?
Charlotte can stay where she at, bro. Like, her and well, now Andrade can't go back to AEW no more. So 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 I don't know what they're gonna do. But yeah, because Charlotte has too much drama to do this, and I was just like, this is just wrestling. You don't have to worry about no backstage issues. Ain't no Nia trying to punch you out, nothing like that. It's all good over here.
You couldn't have said nothing better, and it's gonna really piss me off when they let Charlotte come back and take that title off of Bianca Belair. It is going to piss me off. Bianca Belair is everything that they want Charlotte Flair to be, and she cannot be. Period. Bianca Belair is good as a face. She's good as a heel. She is an incredible role model for not just black young girls, but young girls everywhere. You see young girls in the crowd more than ever with their hair braided in a ponytail and costume, cosplay, however you want to say it. She is strong. She has a message. She's got a story. She's educated. Like, she is everything you could need in a female lead. Her sponsorships are coming in left, after right, hand over fist. That woman is going to be extremely blessed. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get my rating up front, and then I'm going to get into the match. I gave this match a B+. Much like you, Jeremy, I didn't give it an A because there were some spots that I saw coming too. However, it flowed much more fluidly, just like y'all said. You can see that they trusted each other in that match, and because of that, they were willing to give more of themselves to one another. to make that match happen. Sasha Banks is the same way in matches with people that she trusts.
Mm-hmm.
Bianca is making history right now because I don't know if y'all caught this or not. This is the first time 2 women have ever been in a ladder match one-on-one for a world title.
Oh wow!
This
Didn't
is
know
the
that.
first time. And I thought about it and I was like, it's not the first time women have been in a ladder match. And you can't say that because they've been in Money in the Bank matches. You know what I'm saying? They had a TLC match once. You know what I mean? So they have been in matches where they had to climb a ladder. But in regards to a title, this is the first time a women's championship has been decided in a ladder match. And those 2 made sure that they put on every bit of a spectacle that they were supposed to for a first time ever type of match.
Mm. Damn
So
well said, good sir.
I can say that this Extreme Rules as a whole, and I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, but you know, it's been one of the best shows they've had in years. But they made sure that every match tried to feel special, but right behind the Gunther and the Brutes and Imperium match, this was probably my second favorite match on the card. So that's my take.
That's it. I'm gonna be real with you. This one, and I respect that, and probably it may very well be because I didn't see the Imperium match, but this match was my absolute favorite of the night. Because my girl haven't even been paying close attention to the storyline, but she saw, like you said, Buck, an educated, strong Black woman who wasn't playing into any stereotypes get out there and beat ass, bro. Be athletic, get out there, show class. The crowd was cheering for her. And I agree with you, Buck. I agree. That's one thing I did catch. To all the listeners of Caucasian Persuasion, pardon me, but I have to point this out. I ain't seen that many white kids with braids in their hair in unison in a long time. Probably since goddamn the Hunger Games. But,
yeah.
But I love it. You know what I'm saying? Because how can you not get behind the message of being the EST? That is just being the absolute best of everything. And she proves it time and time again. I don't get bored with Bianca. I do not get bored. That's one person. I'm gonna say this. I pray she stays in WWE because she can really be fuck a Charlotte. Like let's just say it like why I said there comes a time where you rely on your family's name more than your ability. And I think that's happening with Charlotte. I think because she is wrestling royalty and Bianca comes from a common place like us, you know what I'm saying? She just was a track star who was just a beast in everything and decided to give wrestling a shot. And people relate to that shit, man. Just being honest. So I look forward to seeing more of her. I'm going to ask you guys this. Did you pay attention to the colors she was wearing?
I did.
Do you think that's a sign that she's moving on to go be with her husband?
I don't know.
Because I'm gonna go back to the picture because and this only shows a little bit of what she was wearing, but she was wearing blue and white, which is often the color of SmackDown. Now, to those of you who don't know, her husband is Montez Ford, who is one half of the Street Profits, but they're on SmackDown. So I didn't know if this was
on Raw though.
No, I think they're still on. I think they're still on the Raw roster because they just show up to SmackDown a lot because Hit Row's on SmackDown. So they've been building that thing. But nah, they are technically a Raw tag team. They've been doing the same thing with Chad Gable and Otis American Alpha, Alpha Academy, because Alpha Academy is technically a Raw tag team and they're always on SmackDown too. So I think they just do that. I think they do that though because if you really look at their tag division, it's not solid.
Not at all.
Mm-mm.
They got
Hey.
about 6 good tag teams.
Hey, so my girl, she makes names up for the wrestlers. So she calls not Gable, but the other one. She
Otis.
calls Otis Weeble Wobble. And so
That's
then
hilarious.
Dax from FTR, she
FTR.
calls no, or is it Dax. She calls him Loose Belly because he did a interview and he talked about how he had loose skin. So now she calls him Loose Belly. So
That's a
like
horrible way to be remembered.
it's hilarious. It's hilarious. She'd be like, what's Loose Belly talking about right now?
oh, that's Loose Belly. That's
loose. Is that Loose
that's Mabel's boy.
Is that Loose Belly?
All right, and we're gonna run through this one pretty quick because I want to make sure everybody gets time to go and watch Raw tonight to get the fallout of the show. But we got Seth freaking Rollins versus Matt Riddle. Why you want to take a point on this one? What was your thoughts?
Man, I thought it was cool. I was expecting more like a fight. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like they were still wrestling, but they just threw in a couple extra things as far as that's concerned, which isn't bad. And I like the high spot as far as that's concerned. And I think this kind of helped make Riddle a little bit more as far as that's concerned, like as a contender for stuff, because he's had really good matches with Roman. He's had good matches with Seth. So, and then he really knows how to sell and he puts his body out on the line. I didn't understand why they had DC in there. His weeble wobble ass. He was like, don't you like? He looked lost and confused. And so I just laughed about that. But that's it, man. I'll give it a B. I'll give it a B.
Oh, bro. Okay, so listen. I'm laughing. I'm gonna make this fast. But I laughed so hard because when he walked out, the first thing I looked at the names and I was like, bro, why he look like somebody uncle that just showed up to the cookout? Like, hey, how you doing? Where you doing? Where you moving? How you doing? How your mama doing? Y'all doing all right? All right, now y'all go ahead. I say, boy, like he look. No, absolutely not. He does not look like he is as decorated as he is in the UFC. Okay. Oh, fight pit. One, I forgot that this match had no ropes. I completely forgot about that. Two, the way that they allowed them to get into the ring and then they lowered it, that was different for me, because if you have watched the NXT fight pit matches that happened, they had to climb that cage and they had to start on the platform and work their way into the actual ring.
Wow.
And so I just assumed that was what was going to happen, and it didn't happen. I was like, oh, so they'll probably use the platform for a stunt. All right, cool, whatever. This is this is a Matt Riddle match, because he has fight experience. He looked like a fighter in a cage in that match. Matt Riddle looked badass. Seth Rollins would still look like a wrestler in a cage, trying to figure out how to wrestle in a cage with no ropes. I didn't think it was a bad match. I did give it a B. I don't know why DC was in there either. The referee's looking more fit. They're more physically fit than he is.
Bruh. It was all bad.
It looked bad. You hit to fight him. Don't touch me. Fight him. Like, if you get your ass out my face, I'll whip your ass, little boy.
And then it was a whole 2 minutes afterwards. He was whooping back on back Riddle. Then he was like, oh, I should do that now. I should do that now. That's what I do.
Right. I say shit. So, but yeah, man. Overall, like I said, I give it a B. Yeah. I give it a B.
All right, that's funny. Everybody's giving it a B. That's exactly what the fuck I gave it. This match was 16-35. It was a B. It was some highlighted points. I did tell my girl, if any nigga I'm about to fight runs up against the cage and does a jump kick off the cage to my face, immediately shoot that motherfucker. Because when I saw that move, I said, "Oh no, the fuck you are not." Ain't no way in hell, boy. Ain't no way in hell. Needless to say, that was one of my favorite spots. I don't want to call it the top rope spot, but the senton spot looked legitimately destructive.
Yes.
He did sell it. It looked like he hurt himself because he landed on his lower back / ass. And if I sit down too fast, I know that pain. So that was cool. And to see Seth go to the power bomb to the gates to the ground and him still not let up until him finally tapping was kind of a good, cool finish. It was unexpected for me. I enjoyed it. I did get nervous at one point. There was a moment where Matt Riddle did a backdrop of some sort, and Seth Rollins did that sideways flip he does.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking always lands awkwardly on his knee. And I just got flashes of when he was Universal Champion and he was gone for like a year because of that knee shit. Seth, I don't know you probably don't watch this shit, but I don't give a fuck. Hey, bro, stop doing that shit. You're giving me anxiety. I really like you. Stop that shit, please. But yeah, overall, solid pay-per-view. I thought it was all right. It wasn't a complete loss. Weakest match for me, Liv Morgan shit. Strongest match, Bianca Belair. Overall, had a good time. Ate some pizza and had fun. So to close it out, because we got 2 minutes before the show starts for Raw, where can we find you if we want to support you, follow you, and the Blur Syndicate? Where do we need to look?
So you can go to anywhere that you have podcasts at, because now we have podcasts on Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify, everywhere from that point. You can go on to youtube.com/the Blur Syndicate and also facebook.com/join the BS, and then go to the shop. Please go to the shop. So then that we have everything. Honestly, we got shirts, hoodies. We got big boy season hoodies coming up real soon. So those are really going to be nice, and check us out.
That is. Now just put in the chat LLC20. Use that code and get some money off your order. God damn it. Eternity Everlasting. Where can we find you if we want to support you, brother?
Yo, man, I'll make it real easy. Y'all can catch me at MrEverlasting.com. You can catch me on the podcast, The South Got Something to Say, every Tuesday on Facebook Live at 9 p.m. Facebook.com/The South SGS2S. And you can check us out on YouTube.com/The South THASOUF. Also, you can catch me on the Safe Word every first and third Friday on all of your streaming media platforms. For all of my kinky people that like to talk some adult stuff. And other than that, man, that's it. And as always,
I always wanted to do that. Safe word.
But yeah, man, that's it, man. Y'all check us out.
That is. And with me, you can find the 2020 podcast at all your streaming platforms and on the Facebook, the 2020 PC. And that being said, we up out of here. And don't let nobody jump kick you while you in a goddamn match like that. Y'all be safe. Peace.